Good morning, folks. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Bears Game Podcast. It could be a little happier, but today is not Victory Monday. We all know what it is. It's Loss Monday. Uh, you know, it is what it is with the Bears right now. What are you going to do? Right now, we have an issue where we have a new quarterback again. We are trying to figure out our offense again. A good friend of mine posted something on Facebook. He said, the defense, is doing great. We just got to figure out that offense. And I worked with this good friend of mine. We're talking starting 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, at this wonderful restaurant called Gale Street Inn in Chicago. And I was like, my friend, I think we've been saying this to each other since when I first met you back then working together. It's the same old story with the Bears. It is what it is because you have to, every year is a new year. You have to look at things in a different way. And it is what it is. You can't come in and expect this rookie quarterback to just come in and light it up. It doesn't happen. Yes, CJ Stroud did this. Look it up. Do your research, friends. CJ Stroud is a one in a multiple decade type of character or player. I'm sorry. Peyton Manning set the record his rookie year for the most picks of all time. The great Peyton Manning. It's undeniable that he was fantastic. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for years, preparing for his moment to get up on stage. You could go on and on. Come on, Cam Newton. His first rookie year was a strong outing, but before Cam, after Cam, have we had something like this? It just doesn't happen. Now everyone's going to say, "Oh, I know it. Wish we had Justin Fields. I wish we had Justin Fields." So do I. Parts of me. He did solid yesterday with the Steelers. They put up 13 points. The defense did their job, and it was a low scoring game, and they won. And so now I believe Justin Fields now is the starter for the Steelers. Good for him. We're very happy. But the numbers he was putting up in Chicago were not cutting it. It just wasn't. The fourth quarter failures, fumbles, turnovers. How many fourth quarter game in the bag or game very possible winnable? And Justin Fields just did some crazy stuff, just like we're dealing with now. It is what it is. It's the Bears. So what we're going to do is, for those who have seen the game, this is just a little rundown of things that maybe you might have missed, or some of the things that maybe you were feeling at the time. And if you haven't seen the game, this is a little quick recap for you, so you don't have to suffer. We suffered for you. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't a suffering type of game. It is what it is. These kind of situations, every year is a new year. You have Ryan Poles, who I do believe is doing a great job, putting the team together. He's building, and if you look at just at Ryan Poles, at what he's doing and the job he's done, if you really understand football, no one's going to say that he did a terrible job thus far. He's been building this team from the disaster of which it was. So we faced the Texans on the road, and as you can see here, it was a rough outing. We can start off with a scoring summary. We can walk it together. So as you can see, the Texans scored the first field goal. Just rushing right through it. A lot of craziness. It was an uneventful first half. All we put up was a field goal, of course, by Cairo Santos. 53-yard field goal. It was a nice 53-yard field goal. It was wonderful. Then they scored a touchdown. It wasn't looking good at this point. We weren't feeling it. And sometimes you can feel this early onset feeling where you're like, okay, we're going to lose, and you're wrong. The Bears surprise you with the amazing defensive heroics, which usually is our story. We think the game is gone, and the defense has to come up and Devin Hester run back a kick, or you needed somebody, a Brian Urlacher to score a few touchdowns. That's what we've always been dealing with for the last couple decades, something along those lines. So we have another touchdown. Nico Collins, 28-yard pass. Then we have here another field goal. So now, look, you can see, you can imagine what we're going through here. Finally, with 32 seconds left in the first half, good old Khalil Herbert, where you been, bro? He shows up for a touchdown, which was great. Gave us energy, gave us some life. And, just when you feel that energy, then you're like, 32 seconds left. That was enough for them to squeeze in another field goal. It's like, can you blame the defense? No. I mean, not when the score was as low as it was. They kept them in the game. Watch the game, watch the highlights. If the defense didn't do their job, this game could have been 50-13. This would have been ugly, thanks to the defense as usual. So then, as you can see, there's not much action. You can imagine what was going on here. But I'm going to walk you through some couple things that were insane. So, second half isn't starting off strong. These are my notes. Bad offense, bad field position. Caleb is getting beat up throughout this game. We got 9 minutes and 8 seconds left. Defense stops Houston, forces a punt. This is now, we're in the third quarter. Penalties, guys. Penalties destroyed our chances for winning. Truthfully, this game was winnable. You don't know what Caleb could have done subtracting out of the 20 penalties we had at this game. 20. Take away 10. Take away 5. Momentum building moves. They could have made something happen. Penalties, just forget about it. Forget about it. So, holding penalty by the Bears. I write here, penalties are becoming a slight issue at this point in time. Next play, delay a game by Chicago. There we go again. Nate Davis is having a false start issue. More penalties. Fans won't be happy. Texans Al Shair punches a bear after a play. Fights break out, getting ugly. Now we're going to do something interesting here, and hopefully this all works out. We're going to take a peek at this, what happened in this game, because it was ugly. You ready for this? It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Let's see what we got over here. We're going to take a peek at what happened. Texas linebacker punches running back square in the face mask and got away with it. He sure did. Regardless, it was a bad reaction. He says, look it up, guys, the after in the locker room talk. He says that, there were some ugly things happening and they put their hands on him first while he was on the ground. So I'm not going to lie. If I was in his position, I might have done the same thing. I may have. You're on the floor, and he said that there was some things said that he cannot repeat. So, I mean, use your imagination, folks. Use your imagination. Football players can be nasty. I don't care where you're from, high school, college, pro. Football is a nasty sport. It can get really ugly. So let's see if we can see this quick of what happened. You can see it for yourself. Boom, right in the face. Now, he pushes that guy back. Now, by the look of the punch, if you can see, he gets up. Boom, it was out of. You can see it looked like out of reaction. Then he's over there. He pushes. He does look like a guy. I'm not gonna lie. In that point, I mean, you're one guy surrounded by the entire team. We're losing. We're frustrated. They said something to him. I know in my bones. Why? I mean, this guy has had he has not had this history. If it was Tyreek Hill, Antonio Brown, sure. Or what is it? The guy that used to play for the Bears that every time he faced that guy from the Saints, he couldn't help himself but punch him in the helmet like a dummy. That made me so upset. But here, I mean, you could see he's coming from the ground, and this was you could see it does look like a reaction. I'm not really defending him, but it's tough. It's tough. If you listen to what he says in the locker room, you can kind of get a better idea of that it was out of a reaction. And if you're a human being, you're getting called the N word, you're getting called God knows what. while you're on the ground getting pushed. He said they're unnecessarily putting their hands on him. I mean, things are going to happen. So it is what it is. So, we got to deal with stuff like this. So we're back here to the game. So it wasn't that pretty. So now we're back to the game. It was rough, folks. Let me tell you, it was rough. So fight breaks out. We're now thinking this isn't good. This is bad energy for the whole entire, you know, comeback. But you know, it is what it is. Pass protection is terrible. Komet misses a block, results in a Caleb sack. I think he got sacked 3 times this game. It was really bad. We're at 18 penalties at this point of the third quarter. Terrible. Texans interception. Ball stolen from DJ Moore on a pass from Caleb. It looked like, it was a 50-50. He threw it there to the right direction. He threw it right in at DJ Moore's hands. And I mean, me and my son were watching the game. It looked like just the cornerback. It was just good defense. He won the battle, and the ball got stolen away from DJ Moore. It is what it is. Throw was seemed to be good. Bears defense is playing their heart out. Fourth quarter with 14 minutes to go, it's still very much anyone's game. And then here you can see Houston scores a field goal after our touchdown. Then another field goal, and then we score a field goal. And that's it. We, in the second half, we contained them, as you can see here, second quarter. Then there's fourth quarter, 2 field goals. You're going to say that defense did a bad job? No way. Caleb Williams throws a interception. And at this point in the game, I was talking to my family. I said I could feel an interception sauteing on the stove. I could feel it cooking. A play later, he throws one. And it's not that I'm saying that out of just hate on Caleb. I'm not. After watching Bears football for as long as I have, you can feel these things coming. You can feel disaster. When you've been on the Titanic enough times, you know when you're on a sinking ship. It just is what it is. Defense comes up with huge stops, forced Texans to punt. Fortunate the previous interception did not result in points. So defense did their job. Even with Caleb's mistakes, defense was bailing him out. Little over 3 minutes left in this game. The score is the same. Offensive line is struggling. Offense is struggling. Chicago has to settle for the field goal. 20 penalties at this point. That'll kill your game. And it's a point of discussion. Caleb Williams on the sideline, he looks defeated, but I see he cares from what I can see. But we can't be impatient. This is to be expected against a very good team. It is what it is. It was a very good a very good football team. It was a good Texans team. What are you going to say? All things considered, I think they fought hard. I mean, they did. It's a new offense. Only DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and a few lower level offensive linemen are from the offense. It's still a rebuild. You can't take away CJ Stroud's skills. Last year, I believe he was rookie of the year. What are you going to say? You're going to go up against CJ Stroud, who they got last year. They've made improvements. They did great last year. They made it to the playoffs. What do you think? They were going to come out and be the Bears? And it's not the Bears, where a team makes the playoffs next year, we suck. No. We can't get 2 years where we make the playoffs twice in a row, where we actually look like we're growing towards a Super Bowl in the third or the fourth year. We make it to the playoffs, then if we happen to fall into the playoffs the next year, it is the most embarrassing thing we ever think about. Then we don't see the playoffs for maybe 3 or 4 years. So that's our cycle that we live in. This isn't the rest of the league. So the Texans have the ball with about a minute and 50 seconds to go. We another huge stop by Chicago. We force a punt. Chicago takes over the offense. Caleb throws deep to Romadunze. It seemed like a big miscommunication. At the end, I could feel. At the end of the game, you could feel it just wasn't. We're like, okay, There's a minute and 45 seconds left. A touchdown will win this game, and just you felt it wasn't going to happen. Caleb was overthinking. He was the offensive line was trash. The run game was not established. Uh, it could be much worse. Justin Fields had a much worse opening season. I wrote here many fourth down blown fourth quarter. I'm sorry, blown opportunities. So, in retrospect, the run game was never established, which opens up the pass. Obviously, defense did a fantastic job. Regardless, the offense does not have chemistry yet. Turnovers and penalties lost the game. This was absolutely winnable. Fans won't be happy, but fans who understand the game will be patient. Players have spoken. They know this game was a giveaway loss. This was winnable. If you really think about it, don't forget about the penalties. 20 penalties. I don't care who's at quarterback. I don't care who's at defense. I don't care if it's the 85 Bears. Look at their wins. Look at any game with wins. 20 penalties don't win you games. It is what it is. Defense gave offense many chances to win. Offense caused the majority of penalties. Yes, Caleb sacked 7 times, 2 interceptions. Rough day at the office. And our offense is again struggling to have an identity. This is the common. We don't have an identity. DJ Moore said it in the locker room. We need to find an identity. And Chicago struggles with having patience for good reasons. But alas, we have to muster some more patience. I mean, friends, it is what it is. I hate to keep saying that, but when you live in Chicago sports, I mean, look, we won a World Series how many years ago now? Look at us now. Look at the Cubs. They're awful. Look at the Bulls. Look at the Bulls the last few years. Disaster. Just a disaster. The Chicago Bulls are just, ugh. I don't even want to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't really like hockey. Whatever they got into a few years ago, some mess. Chicago Blackhawks, the hockey just isn't my thing. It's not my jam. But I've always loved basketball. Michael Jordan, hello. And I was 7 years old when the Bears won the 1985. I was a first grader walking into that place with the Super Bowl shuffle. I'll tell you, it was a grand moment and experience to walk into your school and over the intercom was the Super Bowl shuffle playing throughout the school. I will never forget that. It was one of the coolest moments of my life, greatest memories. But we're going to have to keep dreaming, folks, and have a lot of patience because, I mean, we make the playoffs this year. It's going to be a fall in. I don't feel Caleb Williams is going to take us to any crazy kind of Super Bowl. It's not happening. So be realistic. It doesn't happen. I don't think any rookie has ever won a Super Bowl ever. So we have to be patient and, get through this together, friends. I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your Monday. Take care. I hope this audio was a little bit better than last video. I'm going to do my best to get a better microphone. That channel really is just for fun, folks, and we're having fun with some friends. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. God bless. Stay blessed. Take care of your friends. Be genuine to each other, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.